Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Now, today on the table in front of us is not a new knife, but an excellent knife just the same. This is the Kershaw Bareknuckle. This, of course, is not a standard bare knuckle. This is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive in CPM20CV steel. And that puts this knife onto a whole new level. It is very lightweight. It is very slicey because it's not a particularly thick piece of CPM20CV. It has aluminum aluminum scales with a hardened steel lock bar, which is really nice. It's sort of a subframe lock, as you can see. It is shaped very, very well for comfort. It is an exceptionally easy knife to carry and use. This long, interesting blade allows for fantastic push cuts, excellent draw cuts, and because of that tip, which is very stabby, focus, we're going to give me a hard time. Super. If you were going to do a little of this action, it would work very well for that too. The Kershaw 7777 Black SW is the actual designation on this thing. Is that going to show up? It's hard to tell. I think so. So I had the original. Now, the original came in 14C28N. It was an excellent knife. I actually gave it to a friend of mine so that he could have an excellent knife. And when Smoky Mountain Knife Works dropped this CPM20CV as an exclusive, I was like, yep, I'm going to get one. And then I just didn't for the longest time. Although I wish that I had. So when I got the opportunity to trade for one, I did that. And then this landed, and it's very good. Let's talk about lockup and deployment. Well, it's a single form of deployment on the flipper tab. But before I hit that, I want to point something out. This is a very long, thin, very lightweight blade on this subframe lock, and you want to keep your fingers off this lock bar when deploying this knife. Any additional pressure, see that? You can't touch this. Can't touch this. Seriously, keep your fingers off the lock bar. If you hold the knife in a way where your fingers are not sitting on the lock bar, it deploys absolutely reliably every single time. That's the difference. It's just that straightforward. When these first came out, there were a lot of complaints about people being unable to open them and deployment problems because people were just grabbing them. And you just can't, right? If you just can't do that, guys. Keep your finger off the lock bar and it snaps open again every single time. Now, some people hate that. The idea that they have to sort of relearn how to hold a knife. But look, for aluminum scales running on bearings, CPM20CV steel, for less than $100, or in this case, right at $100 or $99, come on. I mean, it's worth spending an extra couple of seconds figuring out how to get your hand off that lock bar to make this thing deploy. And once you figure it out, it's no problem ever again, as I almost dropped the knife. That was me and not the knife. So let's do some size comparisons for fun. Here it is against our old friend, our new old friend, the Bug Out. As you can see, it is larger than the Bug Out, but not by much. If we move this down this way and bring out our even older friend, the Rat Model 1, you can see that the bare knuckle fits really nicely in between these two knives. It is an excellent EDC size knife. It is very lightweight also, which is a very nice feature because, a lot of the knives I have are 5, 6, 7, 8 ounces. This, you get a lot of knife for not a lot of weight. Let's find out how much it weighs. We're going to bring our old friend, everything's our old friend today. I don't know why. Sometimes it just goes that way, So let's see. Aluminum scales, steel lock bar. Oh, hang on. We were having technical difficulties, but we have now worked it out. Sorry about that. So once again, aluminum scales, steel lock bar, running on bearings. Good action once you figure out how to hit it every time. And it is 3.6 ounces. So we are right at that ounce per inch for blade length that EDC folks seem to like so much. And that matters because it is a very lightweight for what you get knife. I mean, it's a, you know, it's a big, long knife. Let's take a look at the overall length, shall we? We know the blade is 1, 2, 3.5 inches long, but the knife itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.25 inches long. From just behind the flipper tab, you get 1, 2, 3.5 inches, coming up on 4 full inches if you follow after the roll here of grip area. Now on my hand, my pinky does hang over this line just a little bit, but zero movement. Man, that is a well-sorted and well-thought-out knife. And because of the shape of the blade, it's got this sort of belly and then a flat up towards the front. This thing is a monster for draw cuts, and you can push cut in 2 ways. You can either push cut here at the tip this way, so you poke in and push, or you can slide it down around this belly and really dig in. And I got to tell you, this thing is just a joy to work with. It really is. Let's take a look at the blade stock. As I mentioned, it's not that thick. We are gonna, there we go. So back here at the thickest point, we are looking at, can you see that? There we go, 3.1 millimeters. Like I said, thin stock, ground well, makes for a very slicey edge. The handle itself, hello, at its thickest point is 0.45 inches, which it's thin. It really is. I want to share something with you guys. I'm not sure how well it's going to come up on camera. It has a floating backspacer, which runs almost the length of the knife. It's a 3/4 backspacer that's floating, and I just think that is so cool. It is really an attractive addition to the knife. As I said, the pocket clip works very well. There are a couple of things on this that aren't fantastic. One, that they used round head screws inside the pocket clip, which means even when you can hang up right there a little bit. But as you can see on this side, they have this cutout for the pocket clip, so it sits deep in the knife. Centering on mine is just dead on perfect. That's from the factory. I have never done anything to this knife. I've never had to adjust it. The edge came very, very, very sharp, which I enjoy quite a bit. The grind is even along the length of the blade. Look, for $99, you are not going to get these materials at this quality anywhere else. This is Kershaw absolutely doing what they do best, and doing it for a really reasonable price. I mean, come on, that is amazing. This knife is an opportunity for your sort of normal knife user, not collectors, not super knife people, just knife folks, the rest of us, to get really excellent materials at a price that will not break the bank. Now, I know anything over 50 bucks is expensive for a lot of people, and I'm not suggesting that this is a budget knife in those terms. But for the materials you get, it is absolutely a budget knife. I love this thing. This is my throw it in my backpack and go knife. This is my relatively lightweight carry knife. I talked about this a little bit earlier when I talked about the Para 3 lightweight. I love the bug out. I do. But I don't carry this as much as I might because I have this. And this suits my hand much better. It really does. I like the length of the blade. I like the overall aesthetic a little better than the bug out. Don't get me wrong, this is a great knife, but this is $50 more than this. You get better steel. Anyway, look, I've done all this. The Kershaw Bareknuckle in CPM20CV, the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive, is absolutely worth your attention. So, if you are looking for a knife in a super steel with good materials that is well made from a company that you know, go ahead and check that out. You will not be disappointed. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Kershaw Bareknuckle in CPM20CV. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. You have been my amazing audience. Please like the video on your way out. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.